teach what happens etiquette. I'm going to have to
Yes.
figure out how to record that.
You know, people like to go in the back door. Hey, here's Terry.
Hi,
Look,
Terry.
he's got pizza
Welcome to the
back
show.
You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jourdan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. Success. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Boom! That's exactly it.
Do that. Let's do that. Boom. That's exactly it.
I got to do the hop now. You incorporated the little hop.
Yes, you got to get the hop. Yeah, that was just, sometimes I just throw things out. I'm stretching. Yeah, I tried a Honey Crisp apple. I've never had Honey Crisp apple.
Oh
I'm
my
always
gosh,
like a
Honey
Gala
Crisp is
or
my
a
jam.
Fuji guy. Yeah, but I went to the Crisp, and I don't know if I'm going back. It is delicious. It's like a really good. It's sometimes you get a good apple, and it has like that kind of. You don't bite it. It kind of just like peels off. You take your two front teeth like a beaver goes in there, and then it pulls it off. But if you get a really good one, you're almost salivating before the next bite. And so anyway, that was my thing with the crisp.
Too. You're making everyone hungry. But yeah, you got to have the right balance of crispness, but you can't be too crisp. You don't want to like chip your tooth on some of these apples. It's like, come on.
It's like
right? I had a Granny Smith the other day, and I thought I lost a tooth.
Well, those are for apple pies. Do you ever have a fried pie? We went up to North Georgia, and so we did the whole apple thing and the winery and all that stuff, and we brought back some fried pies. So a little fried pie, you throw it in the air fryer, available on Amazon. You get a you get
I miss
in the
those
air
days.
fryer, and then some vanilla ice cream. And you could just plots right there. I mean, that's as good as it gets, and that.
I gotta, you know what? That reminds me. I gotta get Sonia to make you an apple pie.
Oh, was she an apple pie aficionado?
You know what? I love my wife for many different reasons, but thank God I married a fantastic cook.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh
yeah,
man, but her apple pies, woo!
But cooking and baking are two different things. They're different technologies. Some people that can do one can't do the other. If she can do both, that's a keeper. How long have you been married?
25 years.
25 years. Have you ever won a fight?
We've never gotten in a fight, Dan.
Good for you. Yeah, that's good living. You know
that I've won.
Yes, I knew this. Because you have a good last name, Stone. You know, it's a powerful name, Chris Stone. That's cool. What are your brothers' names? They have strong, powerful names.
Todd, and Jeff. So it's very
Tim Todd Stone. Yeah, Yeah, that's right. Two syllables in and out.
Yep.
Powerful.
Boom, boom.
Powerful. So it's a good name though. It's good for Sonia to take it. Sonia Stone. That's a good name. I knew this girl in high school, and she had the most beautiful name. And I thought to myself, I felt bad for her to lose it. Like I wouldn't lose. Check out this name. It'll warm your heart. Okay. Sue Paradise.
Oh my gosh. That sounds.
Oh, are you kidding me? Name. Yeah. I mean, it's the best. It's the best name ever. And I'm thinking, what in my life could ever like match that? Like, where could I get, sometimes you eat a different food and you're like, I'll never have that taste, that first taste of something new again. And I'm thinking, what could be a better name than that? And then our next guest, I'm thinking to myself, I met this guy out of this world. I met him. He has the brain the size of Jamaica, and he just starts, and he's in a whole different space. And it's like sometimes you meet somebody and all of a sudden you start learning new stuff, and it's like it's exciting to wake up in the morning. And that's how I feel, and that's how you're gonna feel when you meet our next awesome guest with his arms raised to the sky, my new friend Tim Shreve. Woohoo!
How's it
Awesome.
going?
Look at that. You know what?
From the great
you know
white
what's-
north to the world, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
Tim Shreve.
Yeah,
Tim
absolutely.
Shreve looking like a gamer. I mean,
Absolutely.
nobody.
You know,
That's, go
Snoop
ahead.
Dogg made a post on LinkedIn the other day about how you shouldn't follow the money, you should follow what you love, and then the money will come. And
Right.
as a kid, I was always a gamer. And I stopped gaming because I had to start making money in the real world. So I was going to college, I was working, I was still in the gaming industry. I was actually dealing poker. I did that for like 15 years. So I was dealing poker and going to college at the same time, but I
Nice.
didn't have time for video games at that time. But now that the metaverse has taken off, I've been able to go back into something that I loved as a child and start building my net worth in this new industry.
Oh my gosh. By the way, Tim, world's best guest. I mean, just pull the string, let him go.
That's how it works, man. That's how it works. He's in the podcasting game. That's it. So do you do poker in the metaverse?
I don't right now.
Okay.
There are a lot of casino games that are interested, in getting into the blockchain industry and into the metaverse. Just because you're already dealing with currency, and when you think of a casino, you think of chips. They have their own form of currency whenever you go into a casino. So having their own
Oh,
currency is nothing new to that industry. So there's a lot of people who are trying to build casino games in the metaverse as well.
oh,
But
okay.
I'm
Well,
not
so
personally
hold on.
involved in any of those projects.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because you just you say to people who have lighter hair than you.
I'm getting there.
You
I just shaved my beard, so you can't tell. It's black right
oh,
now,
okay.
but you might be able to
There
see
you
some of
go.
the gray spots.
That's okay. Looks good on you. But
Thanks, appreciate it.
but you mentioned those words, blockchain, metaverse, tokens, currencies. You're losing a lot of people. But I'm going to come to a question though, because I know you could just jump right in. But I want you to kind of explain those. But how I met you is if you go to your LinkedIn page, and LinkedIn is almost a Web3 type of thing. It is a community. And I'll have you explain that too. But if you go to your LinkedIn page, there's a little thing up top there. It's yellow. And I don't have one of those, but you do. And it says something called, what does it say there, Chris Stone?
It says top social media optimization, or SMO voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I saw was top. And I got jealous. I mean, it could be top goofball. I would rather get it than nothing. And so
If you
I
ain't
see
first, you're
there's,
last. You got to be on
yeah,
top.
there's either a few people that
Boom, I
have
love
them,
it.
and then there's many of us who don't. So how does Tim Shreve from the great white north of Canada figure out a way to do that? How did that happen?
Yeah, so LinkedIn started publishing these AI written articles. And if you're a creator manager at LinkedIn, which if you set your LinkedIn profile to creator mode, you automatically get assigned a creator manager. You don't know who that person is, you never meet them, but they're there. And
Wait,
if
wait,
you're
wait, wait, stop. How do you do that? How do you set it to creator mode? I'll do it
Your
now.
creator mode's on, Dan, because we wouldn't be broadcasting on LinkedIn if you didn't have your creator mode. But you can go and check it. It's right in your. We'll do this after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually couldn't even tell you how to do it anymore because I did it such a long time ago that I would have to actually go
Okay.
through the steps to figure it out. But yeah, so once you have your creator mode turned on, you get assigned a creator manager. You can start. You have to engage your audience to get noticed, and then once you get noticed, if your creator manager feels comfortable enough in your comments and your engagement with your audience, then they'll let you start engaging in these AI written articles. And once you start engaging in those AI written articles, you'll get even more engagement from your audience. And as that engagement continues over time, and if people enjoy what you're putting out in the world, then you become a top voice on LinkedIn. So it takes a lot of work to get there, but it's easy to do.
Okay, hold on. So what does engaging your step one, you have to engage your audience. What does that look like?
Yeah, so for me personally, I know a lot about the metaverse, and I know what it can do for society and the world, and how it can really empower people to work for themselves versus building somebody else's dream, or even giving you simple access to entrepreneurship and banking that many people in the world don't even have. Their
Mm.
currencies are constantly fluctuating. The bank is cut off to them in these rural areas in the world. Think of Syria. It's probably very hard to do business in Syria, but with blockchain being a digital ledger and cryptocurrency being decentralized, you can start a business in Syria using the metaverse. So it's kind of given that ability to access it globally, which is amazing. I'm all for empowering
Wow.
individuals.
Okay, so you picked something that you know about and you were engaging. So how did you find those people in the community to engage with?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, they're AI written articles. So I get suggested articles that come into my feed that say, "Hey, I think the basically AI saying, hey, I think you would be a good person to contribute to this article. Please contribute to this article." Is basically what pops up in my feed, and
Oh no, but I mean
I was finding
for those for one second, for those of us who are not yet getting those AI things, when you first started, how did you find those communities to engage in there so that the AI, your creator person, started noticing you?
Yeah, so what you do is you have to um, I would find other creators on LinkedIn who are in the industry that I'm in, and then I would now LinkedIn likes to give you the one-click follow button. However, if you actually go to their private, because they're creators, that's the default. It defaults you to selecting follow. However, if you actually go to their LinkedIn page, click on the drop down box, now you can actually connect with those creators. Once you start connecting to those other creators, you start engaging in their content. You put comments on their posts. You get their acknowledgement. And if you go to just type in Snoop Dogg on LinkedIn, and you'll find out I have 19 mutual connections with him, because when Snoop Dogg came to LinkedIn, his creator team did not know that you could just do follows. So he was connecting with everybody, and I actually have like 19 mutual connections with a Snoop Dogg. So he doesn't show his connections up there; it just shows followers, because they it was early on. His team didn't know about the followers; they just know about the connections. But if you go, if I was to do this, I would actually see the connections. I would see I have 19 mutual connections with them, because when he first started engaging on LinkedIn, I was one of the first people to know about it, and along with these other creators who are on this platform. So you basically get access to this alpha community once you start connecting to all these different creators on the
Oh,
platform.
neato badito. That's awesome. All right. So uh, once you do that, okay, so you get known in the industry and all that. So you move that. You mentioned blockchain.
Yeah.
Explain now how you're able to use. And I'm hesitant to use the word metaverse because it turns so many people off. Um,
Yeah. Well, that
so
will
what do you?
change over time. You know, right now, blockchain, it's an easy to explain. It's just a digital ledger. People think it's complex to explain. It's just a
Mhm.
digital ledger. It's just a record of transactions. Like any time you send anybody anything, it gets recorded. Um, and so it's just a digital ledger. It's
So it's my bank book, an old time bank book,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah, if
and
you
I'm
have a
just
checkbook, in the back you have the registry for those old
yeah
timers. You're
yeah.
basically writing in that registry digitally without actually having to, use a pen and paper. So
I remember the first time I took my horse and buggy to the bank, and actually actually did that. No, that was so. It's just a ledger, but you say it's decentralized. What does that mean?
Yeah, so basically no one controls you know the like right now, like if you go into Facebook, you're agreeing to their terms of service. You're giving them access to your data for free. And so Facebook, they're basically managing, all of their internet traffic that comes onto their website. However, if you can use a Web3 browser, now anytime someone goes to your website, it's automatically getting recorded. And so like those no one's like creating a process behind there's no like gatekeeping. That's not it's
Right.
Everything is out in the open for anyone to see, and it's automatically recorded. So when it happens, when you create a tokenized event, which is basically any event that can get recorded onto a blockchain, when you create this event, there's no going back. It's there. It's for everyone to see. As to whereas when you have centralized record keeping, records get lost, they get misplaced, things change. So for Facebook, they're doing everything in house. When someone goes to their website, they might be able to see it, but then now somebody has to go and pull the data from that database, and maybe that database is able to be manipulated in some way,
Right.
because
Okay.
somebody is able to that somebody's controlling the code behind it. There's somebody behind there pulling the strings when it
All
comes
right.
to
All
those
right.
centralized
I'm
databases.
yeah. I'm going. I don't know if Chris Stone, you're getting like this, but I'm going like in and out of
No,
understanding.
like think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
like this, Dan. So, as creators, and you would be considered a creator, Dan, believe it or not.
I feel no.
Um,
I feel like 10 years
no,
from now, this conversation we're gonna feel like idiots. But like even
no,
you say,
no. So, if I
yeah,
can finish, think of it
yeah.
like owned land versus rented land. Like this video is going on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, Twitter, all of
Hmm.
those places. Somebody else owns the your ability or our ability to do this broadcast, and will have a say in how much money you make, and in the case of YouTube, a big say in how much money you make and how they can run ads on your content. Whereas if you're doing something via blockchain, there is no middleman. It is a direct relationship between consumer and content owner.
No, it's the perfect. It's a
Yeah,
true
and
commerce.
so it's scared a lot of people, I think,
It's free
and
market.
for up until about maybe, I don't know, and Tim, I'd love your opinion on this. Up until maybe about a year ago, especially, there was so much of it happened, like the fire hose got turned on, right? And those that really were into it, like yourself, they drank as much as they could and understood as much as they could because they knew this is where it was going. But there's a lot of people that are like, well, how do I make money? How do I make money? How do I make money? And they hear about all of the NFTs being making money and all this stuff, and then so everybody was just jumping in, the hustle culture, saying here's how to make $1 million in 14 days and all of that stuff. And then they realized, well, that wasn't really true. Just like everything else, you got to put work in, you got to understand, and you got to continue, and you got to do everything else. I feel like maybe being outside of it, like the general, concept of Web3 has come down, right? In terms of the public, really, paying much attention to it. And it's actually a good thing for those like yourself that said, okay, now we got everybody out of the way that realized that this wasn't for them. Now we can focus on making it better. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Like with all these new markets, whenever you have a new market, you always get the speculators in first, the people who just want to get rich off
Right.
this new technology.
Right.
And so when those speculators come into the market, everything is overly inflated.
Mm.
And then, once the speculation is done, everything dies back down. And all of a sudden, people have lost a lot of money who were speculating to, possible scammers, possible a lot of things that can happen whenever there's a new market. And so all this money comes in. Think of the dot-com bubble when the internet first came out.
Exactly.
Everyone came in, bought up all these websites thinking they're going to get rich owning these websites, and then over time, the ones who were building the internet were successful, but the ones who were just speculating on the internet lost. and that's where we're at now. You know, the metaverse is the next iteration of the internet. It's completely decentralized. Think when I describe the metaverse to people who don't understand the term at all, I describe it as a Web3 Play Store, right? Because Apple, they have a Play Store, you know, Google has a Play Store. Those are Web2 applications, you know. But for Web3 applications, they need a place to plug into. And right now, everyone has this mindset that they're going to build their own metaverse and everyone's going to come visit their own space. However, that's not going to be the case. Just like the internet is connected, the Web3 applications are going to be connected too. And there's going to be these individual metaverses that people are building out. Those are known as layer 2 metaverses, which you know, that gets a little complicated. So I don't want to go into too much detail. But then the Web3 Play Store metaverses that I'm referring to, those are considered layer 1. And then the other alternative to investing in the space would be the underlying technology, such as the blockchain, the smart contracts, you know, cryptography. All of that stuff would be considered layer 0, which is basically your foundation. You know, when you go buy a house, you know, they call it a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. They don't say 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom house with foundation, right? So the layer 0 is just there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, then the layer 1 and the layer 2.
Yeah,
built on top of it.
I think it's probably about, you know, having the big brain people figure out how to make it not necessarily easier, but able for people to trust, because it's really hard to explain, especially like cryptocurrency, to someone who just understands how the transaction of a monetary of dollar, right, of that value for value type of thing. You know, when it's easier for me to understand it as a content creator, because, you know, Dan, I'm going to roll this over to you a little bit here. So if you create content, you've been creating content for free for years, but you understand that's just, you've got to put that time in and that skin in the game. It's a cost of doing business, right? But in a value for value, where someone connects their wallet, and let's just say, Dan, you have a super fan. I know you do, but let's just say the super fan says, I tune into the show every single week and I love it. And they subscribe to you on YouTube. And yeah, YouTube has got some things where they're like, hey, you can be a creator and we're going to give you, you know, 20 cents a month for ads to be able to be run on your, because they control it. But imagine if someone could connect their digital wallet to you and they were to say, every minute that I listen or watch your content, there's a little bit of money coming out of my digital wallet. Not a ton, they can choose. They actually can say, for every hour, I want to give you $10. Okay, so if they listen to it for 20 minutes, you're going to get the equivalent of that money in Satoshis or whatever. So that, to me, makes sense from a get the middlemen out of the way, get the people who own the pipes out of the way, and allow people to just make a flea market for themselves. Is that it? Am I Tim? Am I wrong, or
no? You're absolutely right. Like that's the idea. Like and then on top of it, like, so where the metaverse comes into play when you talk about the cryptocurrencies and owning your content and being able to engage these individuals who are your super fans. When it comes to the metaverse platform, it's just basically enhancing the internet, because right now, like when you go on YouTube, you're talking at your audience and your audience is talking at you in either comments or DMs. It's not interactive. However, creating a 3D world where you can be interactive with your audience, like you can have Snoop Dogg's digital twin on a stage. So like if he, you know, is rapping in the real world, he's rapping in the virtual world at the same time. His movements are directly related into his digital twin. So even if his eye twitches, his digital twin eye twitches. So you end up being in a virtual space with a digital twin of your all-stars, of the people that you follow the most, you know, the celebrities of the world. So
you see that's where community is going. You feel like this
100%.
So in your experience, like how does community in the metaverse differ from other online communities you see, i.e., Facebook groups, individual personal networking, Zoom group masterminds. Like, talk about like the big differences there, and if someone who is kind of averse to the metaverse, like what might interest them to become more a part of it.
The big difference is the buy-in. Like right now, you can go on YouTube and for free and comment on anybody's show, anybody's video. You can put putting hate out into the world
Right.
because it's free. But when you buy into a community, when you say, "All right,
Mm,
Dan, I like your content. I'm going to buy an NFT that gives me a ticket to your show every single week, where I can sit front stage and talk to your digital twin every single week because I have this ticket that gives me access to your community." Now all of a sudden, everyone is there to support each other and build up with each other versus having people there who are tearing you down because they're there for free. So and then on top of it, if someone does decide to buy a ticket and start tearing you down, the community is there to support you and lift you right back up. So those people will phase themselves out to where you're eliminating the trolls. You're no longer having these, you're just creating a more positive internet experience that we've all been craving. We always talk about how we're losing this connection in the real world because everyone's talking to each other digitally. Nobody's talking to each other. Everyone's talking at each other, and it's creating a lot of negativity. If we can create these virtual worlds where people are talking to each other again instead of talking at each other, it's going to create a more positive digital experience for everyone, and it's going to impact your real world relationships and your real world life too. Like, I have a huge community in Brazil where we are constantly building projects with each other,
that's
and
awesome.
we meet in the real world, once a year in Vegas.
Mm.
Wow.
The Metaverse platform that we're all on, they host an event for their Genesis Week, and that's in Vegas every single year. And so while we're out there, I get to talk to the community that I've been building with in person and build these real world relationships, and because we're building these projects in a digital environment.
And you would have never
Well,
found
why
these
don't
people if it weren't for the metaverse. And I think
Correct.
that's just it, man. I think, listen, this is where it's going. Not for everyone, right? I mean, not everything is for everyone, but like, you just sold me on it. Like, I don't know if you're in sales, Tim, at all, if that's part of your LinkedIn top social media optimization voice or not. But like, I mean, you sold me on it. Like,
I
if
mean, when you're
yeah,
passionate about something, you have the knowledge, it's easy to sell, right? Like, that's what it comes
that's
down
it,
to.
man.
I'm
Wow.
not I can't sell you I don't know, dishwashers. I don't know a thing about a dishwasher. So,
Well,
but
why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Is there a particular world in the metaverse that you're building right now that you can give us an example of what it looks like?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well,
the
well,
my favorite.
and let me ask you this: while Chris pulls that up, because I know we pulled it up early, just to clear things up for anybody who doesn't know, there's a couple of terms that we're throwing out that we may know what it means, but other people may not. In just the basic thing, what is Web3? And just in like one sentence.
Yeah, so oh geez. Um
I mean, if you say it so easily, I mean, you expect everyone to know it. What if they don't know?
yeah, what I would say is Web3 is a concept. It's not necessarily, it's a concept
Okay,
that involves the next iteration of the internet.
got it. Okay,
So I
that's
think
perfect.
that's
And what's an NFT?
yeah, so an NFT is a one of a kind asset that is stored in a digital wallet. So as I
Okay, so
mentioned
it's money.
earlier,
Perfect.
It's
as
digital money.
yeah,
No.
exactly.
Well,
So
you can
think of it
pay
like right
digital money
now,
for it.
like if you
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
see Taylor Swift in concert, you have a digital ticket on your phone. They scan the
Okay.
QR code at the gate to let you in. But however, if we could tokenize those tickets, now all of a sudden Taylor Swift can make money from the secondary market. So if you're
Okay.
scalping Taylor Swift concerts, because it's stored on the blockchain, we can see who's scalping those tickets. And so anytime those tickets sell for a higher price, Taylor Swift gets a cut of it because you're using blockchain technology.
Okay. What's a token?
Yeah, so a token is the same thing as an NFT, just a digital asset.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
so
Good.
the re so as I mentioned, like those ticket stubs that get you into those concerts, now because they're digital assets, you can now create imaging around it. So like maybe you can have a three-dimensional Taylor Swift statue that gets you into the concert versus just a ticket stub. And now let's say I want to display that statue at my digital home to represent that I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. And now let's say I'm Snoop Dogg and I want to show Taylor Swift some love. I'm going to drop Snoop Dogg tickets to anyone who holds that Taylor Swift statue. So you're actually empowering other creators to create off your content. You're empowering community to create with you.
Okay, great. This is
Dan, this is
that's
a
exactly what
thing.
I need.
It's a thing, and it's in
That's why I had him on the show.
yeah,
Chris
but
Stone.
it's great for people who, especially like I love that you're using Snoop and Taylor Swift as examples. Although I will say Taylor Swift is like the unicorn of examples, right?
Yeah, and
Because
and
like
Snoop
it's
is
like
the
every
unicorn of
musician goes,
Web3. Like that man, he's on a whole nother level. Like he's
yeah,
building everywhere. He has NFTs in almost any project you can imagine. Like,
but if you're
so
a
the fact that
musician
he's on
that's
LinkedIn is
yeah,
huge for this
yeah.
new technology.
Well, I'll look to connect with him just because you told me to. But he's obviously a huge businessman on all fronts. But the fact that you pulled in musicians as examples, because Dan, musicians for the past 10, 15 years are doing nothing but complaining that they're not making music because they used to make money off of record sales. But then, enter Napster and digital music and streaming. Everyone's like, the record labels were like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Well, what ended up happening is can't beat them, join them, right? Because the world wanted to stream music. And then,
Yeah,
Taylor Swift
it was.
went
Remember
from
Napster?
record sales to like, whoa, I just looked at my mailbox and I'm not getting nearly as much money as I did. So now they're finding other ways. And people, and listen, if you think that that's like sticking it to people, well, then, why are people paying for it? Why are people actually interested in doing this? If you're fans
No,
of music, you'll want
I
to
love it.
support them.
We need
Yeah.
to put together not a concert, a seminar
And a concert.
or a conference. That's what we need to do, a conference in the metaverse. So where would we do it? Let's say I wanted to do that, Tim Shreve, direct Chris Stone into what he needs to do so we can get to that thing.
Yeah, so for anyone who's new to the metaverse, I always recommend two platforms. There's a platform called Spatial.
Yeah.
It's very easy to build out your space in that platform because they have assets that have already been created. So like you can customize your environments. However, if you're more advanced and you actually have developer knowledge and skills, especially of the Unity platform, you can now build out these different environments in Blender and then import them into
Blender.
yeah, Blender. It's a software. It's a software
Okay.
for designers. So like basically if you want to design 3D assets or 3D logos, you can use that
Okay.
software to do it. And so you can create your own environment in Blender and then have it be live in Spatial. However, if you're not that advanced and you just want to start out with basic environments and basic surroundings, they have pre-built ones for you to where you can customize environments and start hosting events in those environments. And then the other platform I would recommend is Nowhere. They describe themselves as Zoom meets Fortnite. So like you have two options. You can either come in there with your Ready Player Me avatar, or you can come in there with your I don't think that's the right one.
That's Blender.
Blender.org is not it.
No, blender.org. Just look up for Blender software and see what comes
Yeah,
up.
that was what popped up, but we'll go to Spatial. This gives you
Yeah,
an
there you
idea of
go.
what Spatial's about, and I've used this before. And the good thing I like about Spatial is you don't necessarily need a VR. Like you don't need a a Sony, the big hardware that you put over your face. You can do this on the web if you needed to, as well. Of course, it's not as great, but it's still functional.
And you do something on Upwork. What is this Upwork thing? Not Upwork. Well, Upland.
Upland, yeah. Yeah, so that is the largest Web3 platform out there at the moment. Right now you hear a lot about Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft. Those sorts of games, they're all Web 2 based. There's no blockchain technology. There's no Web 3 technology. However, they do have digital assets that are centralized on a centralized exchange through those platforms. So, for example, you can buy Gucci handbags in Roblox, but you can't take those Gucci handbags outside of Roblox because everything is centralized. But whereas Upland, because it's Web3 and blockchain based, you can build something outside of the platform and then bring those assets into the platform to utilize them.
Okay.
The CEO of Upland, his name is Dirk Luth. He's also CEO of the Open Metaverse Alliance, which is a DAO that consists of all these different metaverse companies who are building this interoperability to bring assets cross-platform. Currently, Upland has 4 million registered users, 60,000 monthly, and I think 30,000 weekly. So they have a pretty big space. However, they're just now starting to build out these mini games and experiences for players to actually be able to do something other than just trade assets back and forth. So you
Okay.
can see there.
Hold on a second. I mean, you're on a roll and you're throwing out words. The problem is when I don't understand something, I can't hear what you said afterward.
Yeah,
And a
it's
long
great.
time ago,
Yeah,
you said,
so just
yeah, a long time ago, you said something about Roblox. The heck is that?
Yeah, so Roblox, it's as I mentioned earlier, when I turned 17, I started, dealing poker, and then I also was going to school and working another job as well. So like I was doing a lot at 17, I could no longer play video games. So Roblox, it's a gaming platform
Okay, it's a
where you can
gaming
build out
platform.
your virtual environments, but their
Okay.
typical user is under the age of 17. The hardest target market for Roblox has been 17 to 25, and it's because once you turn 17, you start to focus on your career and what you want to do with your life versus spending time with your friends, gaming, and hanging out. However, you can still build a career in Roblox, which is very fascinating to a lot of people. And so the next after 25, that's why they have a lot of users in that category as well, because these are people who are actually building the platform, who are a little bit older and see that they can build a career inside of Roblox. So that's why that middle market has been hard for them to hit. They have the people who are above 25 who are building the experiences for the people who are under the age of 16. And because they have a lot, because they've been dealing with a lot of children over the years, building a user base of 60 million users that are mostly kids, 60 million daily active users, by the way. Registered, I think, is over 300 million now.
Montekia.
So with 60
This is a
million
whole new
children
world.
using this platform every single day, there has to be a lot of moderation, and that's why they're not a decentralized platform. But when these kids get
Yeah,
older
I
and they
mean,
start turning 17 and they can see their career path in the metaverse, that's when you're going to see them move over to decentralized exchanges and decentralized platforms such as Upland. And so Upland is in the very early stages of
So what
developing.
do you do? What do you do in Upland? Man, you just keep on going. You don't understand. What does a human being do in Upland?
Yeah, so it depends on what you want to do,
How do you use Upland in order to monetize it?
Yeah, so for me personally, I'm
And
looking to
if Chris Stone, if you could pull it up. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so for me
So this
personally, I'm looking to partner up with gaming studios,
so
such
is
as
this your asset? Do you own this little house here?
yeah, that is actually a showroom. I do
Okay,
own
what does
it.
that do?
It gives
What
A
is that?
showroom is basically a retail store. So
So that's your store.
this is my store. Um,
Yeah.
Mastilla Studios is the gaming studio I've partnered up with to open this store. They're
looks
going
like I
What
to
can
need
I
to have
buy
an
there?
account to log in, though.
You can't buy anything right now. The shop, because you can
Oh,
see the shop
that's a
now.
terrible store.
I know. We're not open yet. We just got our
I'm
license
knocking
to
on your
do
door here,
business.
Tim. You won't let me
Hey,
in.
the sign's closed, man. Sorry, got to come back later.
But you are the
No,
chief executive. I can see your credentials here on the outside of the
Is
door.
that
You
you?
don't
yeah,
have
as
your
chief
store hours
executive
posted
means you
yet.
have over 100 $1,000 net worth in the game USD, which converts to 100 million UPIX. The thing about Upland is their cryptocurrency is not traded on the exchanges. So 1,000 UPIX is always 1 USD. I found this very important for a metaverse platform because people don't want to speculate on top of speculation. People want to be able to build these platforms without having to worry about what speculators are doing. And so when you go into Sandbox and Decentraland, those coins are traded on the exchange. So if you buy, a property in Sandbox for 3 Ethereum, and then the price of Ethereum drops, now all of us, and you list it for 5 Ethereum, sure, you've made more Ethereum, but you've lost money because you put USD in and the Ethereum is worth less. So, and I think the coin that Sandbox uses is actually Sandcoin, but they do have, you can buy properties with Ethereum and Polygon as well. Because
is it proprietary? Only Upland that's their only currency, and it's only usable there, or is it, or can you
correct.
Okay.
So the decentralization comes in with being able to trade the assets between platforms. So if you want to monetize the metaverse, you have to create utility, a reason for people to own digital assets, and then you can go take those digital assets outside the platform and do whatever you want with them.
So if you wanted to take that $100,000 out, is that possible?
Yes, I would have to sell off every single one of my assets. Just like if you owned, let's say you owned, because it's 100 million, of in-game currency. So let's just say it was $100 million, for example, 100 million US dollars, and I had homes. I had a whole bunch of houses and cars and TVs that was worth $100 million, but I didn't have $100 million cash in the bank. I would have to sell off everything I own to cash it out. And so it will take time for me to get all of my money out. Yeah.
Like, what are some of the assets here that I would want to purchase?
Yeah, so just go up to my avatar for me real quick. Just scroll up. You can see there, that's my Ready Player Me avatar. That's a Halloween costume. It's an alien costume. I bought that for like $20. So that's just one asset I own. I think there's only, I'm not sure if it was 60 or 80 of them. So
are prices negotiable? Like if people bid on it, hey, I'll pay $6 for that.
Yeah. So like, you can go into the DMs and DM other players. They have an in-game chat feature. So if you see an asset that somebody wants, you can always, as long as they have their chat feature turned on, some players opt to have it turned off. As long as they have their chat feature turned on, you can DM them and ask them, hey, would you take $20 for this, or would you take 50 for this, whatever you'd want.
This is where I was going. So this show's about sales, Tim. And so this is where I see sort of the the Venn diagram of our conversation. A lot of this stuff is, I would say 99% of this audience is like probably not going to do this because they just, 80-20 rule in general, but this is, highly complicated. And as you said, you're very passionate about it, but there is a world in here where there's an exchange of goods and conversations and negotiations and things like that. So out of your properties, out of your collections, out of your 100 million UPX net worth here, and you need, let's say you need to offload some stuff, right? How do you go about doing it? Like, are you going somewhere and targeting somebody that you want to offload? Like, I know that this would be valuable to this type of person, and how would you go about marketing those items and then selling them?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's communities on Discord who are related to Upland. For example, there's the Upland Racing League, because you can actually race in the metaverse right now. I have a whole bunch of race cars in this platform. If you go to push the X button for me real quick. Go push the 3 dots at the bottom, the little floating hot dog in the center there. There you go. Go to assets. Oh shoot! Actually, you're gonna have to do this differently because you're not logged. I was thinking if you were logged in as me. See? All right. So sorry. Click on my property again. Sorry. Click on my property. You gotta bring my portfolio up again. Yeah. There you go. And then go to assets up at the top there, and then scroll over. So football legits. That's FIFA. Structures. Those are my buildings. Block explorers, those are like your game pieces that you use to move around the board with. So I have a store that sells those as well.
Cool.
And then
Do you have transactions regularly?
yeah,
You do. So
yes.
there's constantly so it's people trading cards.
Yeah, exactly.
It's baseball cards.
Yeah, these are NFLPA football cards right here. So there's
Oh,
mementos up at the top, and then that are like those are like having like game cards. So like let's say you have you want to capture the memento from the Super Bowl. You have a card that that's basically a replica of the jersey, and but then there's these other ones that are just general cards that just represent, these are like their practice jerseys essentially. These are just the
are
jerseys
you
that they just
turning
wear
him
every day.
around there, Chris?
Yeah,
Stone?
this is fully
You
usable
you
here.
you were
I don't
turning
see
him
any
around.
Detroit Lions here, Tim.
You gotta use the search bar. I'm sure oh, you know what? I think I traded them all to
Oh man, just wait, right? Because they're they're hot
no.
right
So
now.
my business partner, he's actually I just say he's storing them for me. Okay, so he has we do a lot of trading back and forth, and one
Oh,
of
so that's a thing. So like you would trade back and forth, and does that like drive value one way or the other when that happens?
yeah, because they have these team collections and they have fan points. So if you bring up your fan score, you're able to mint more from that team. So by me giving him all of our Detroit Lions stuff, like now, so we're able to use our assets together to get better position for assets related to that team. So he has a
That's
Detroit
smart.
Lions game ball. He has a lot of Detroit Lions stuff.
See, now we're getting now we're cooking with gas here, Dan. Now we're talking my language here. Like
This is the
cars. We're
craziest
in
thing.
Michigan right now. We're in Detroit.
So go back to community. So if you're going to, let's say you want to, I don't know, have a conference that we talked about. Could I have this conference like in the Swiss Alps? With overlooking what was that body of water that you guys love in Michigan?
Lake.
Torch Lake, yeah.
Yeah. Torch Lake. I can put everything and I can get people in that room.
Yeah, you can
Everybody-
design it. You can design it on platforms like Spatial, Charmy Worlds, Nowhere. All these different layer 2 platforms that let you do any sort of creating your own space. You can create your own space in there, and then you can connect it into the metaverse through the open API. For Upland, their open API lets you build with Unity or Unreal Engine. So you have the option. And another thing about Upland, they're the only metaverse platform that's fully mobile, digital, and VR. So you can use it on Android, Apple, internet browser, or a headset. It's totally up to you how you want to engage with the platform.
All right, so it's becoming.
So are you in the
accessible
process
to
of
everyone.
building your storefront then? So that someone you're I put on my Oculus and I go here via Upland, that I'm walking into like a storefront that you're creating and designing with that?
Yeah, yes, that's what they're working on. That's not there yet. So like right now the VR experiences are very individualized. So like for example, Nowhere Cafe, they have cafes inside of Upland that you can go to when they have
Can we go?
certain
Let's
events.
go.
Yeah,
Can
you
we
can
go
go.
there?
There's no events happening right now, so you're just going to be there hanging out.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so
let
go
me
ahead
walk
and
around.
go back to the Upland platform, and I'll show you.
Sure.
Chris Stone, is this what Victor Antonio does?
Not really. He has and I'm not sure where it's at right now, but he did the Sales World, which is a
Yeah.
metaverse platform, and I'm blanking on the platform that did it, but it's basically like a sales conference that's virtual all the time, and then he adds new content, does live events in it. All right, so what are we doing? Are we searching for a
Yeah,
location
so
here?
just push the X there.
Okay.
And then just zoom out a little bit, because the Upland Cafe there's one that's really close to here. I think it's zoom back in just a little bit, and then
Is there going to be traffic?
go to the top left, scroll a little bit further.
Where's the Upland Cafe?
There it is, Upland Cafe Rio. There it
got
is.
it.
So this is like a
you
little
have to log in to visit.
Montekia.
Okay, yeah, don't
Or All
All
right.
right. Well, I may have
Yeah.
to
I'm
do
gonna have to
something here.
sign
Let me go
into
ahead.
that.
I'll sign in. Yeah, we'll do it. You
But
guys, you guys ask another question. I'll get
you could
myself
get
logged in.
lost in a world like that. So when you were in your total gaming zone, how many hours a day would you be putzing around and things like this?
Well, it's not built yet, so it's not very fun right now. It's very boring. So a lot of the times, a lot of time I spend on the platform is actually outside of the platform, looking for, deals, negotiating with communities, trying to figure out where communities are building. So it's a lot of times it's spent on Discord, Telegram, with the
All right.
soft.
Well, then just give me some knowledge about the younger kids who are playing these games. You said Fortnite and things like that. How many hours a day do people can stay on that? Like when you were in your heyday of playing video games.
Yeah, so the average Roblox user spends 3 hours a day. 60 million people playing Roblox on an average of 3 hours a day, under the age of 16.
And what what is Roblox? What is the game? It's,
Yeah,
or it's
so
just hanging out
it's
with
just hanging
people?
out because like out of all these
Really?
games, there's like a whole bunch of games in there that people have
Okay.
built that like Gucci has a store there, Walmart has a store there, Adidas has a store there. So like they have like
Wow.
BMW, they took a different route. They built on Fortnite. So they didn't build in Roblox, but they're still out there on these platforms. So
Now,
a
is
lot of these
Roblox is it ROLL blocks or Roblox?
ROBLOX.
Oh, okay. ROBLOX. This is cool, man. You need an
I
hour
think I
to.
just I might have broken it.
Okay.
But I think we're in Detroit right now.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It takes you through these commands to basically just to get familiar with the game. I'm not sure if you can do anything until you go through it, but let's just try it. Let's just ignore these commands for now
Okay.
because I don't want to show everyone how to play Upland right now. That's like yeah, I do educate people, with one-on-one sessions. I just charge
Oh.
$100 just to show them the platform and and basically get their account set up
Okay.
for them and
Oh, okay.
show
So
them the
that's how
Make
people.
sure we're
strategy,
getting off of
how
this.
to make money, and stuff like that. Just basically the very basic knowledge you need to monetize from the metaverse. That's what I educate people on.
That's excellent. And how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can just book through my Calendly. My Calendly's
Um,
also on my LinkedIn as well, so you can just book through there.
I can't exit through this. I got to click through every single one of
okay.
these.
All right.
Let me. I'm collecting
Oh, look, you got.
bonuses by doing it, which is really fun. I'm not reading any of it.
Yeah, don't read it all right now. I'll show you later. Like, yeah, me and you we'll sit down.
Okay, it looks like I'm done. So I'm going to
Well,
go back to your address that you gave me. So we're going to go back here. Let me see if I can.
and all this is to go to the cafe. Oh, look at
I'm
that.
going
Oh,
through a
look at.
lot of trouble for you, Tim. I hope it's worth it, man.
Oh, look
I
all the way
promise it's
down.
not going to be worth it, but it's okay.
Did you just promise that it would not be worth it?
Yeah, I mean, like I
That's
said, like
amazing.
unless there's events going on, like there's no reason to hang out in these cafes. And right now, there's not any events, so you're just gonna be there. But you get to
We're
see
gonna.
what it's like. Like you get to
I got
see
to go
the
through it. I got to go through
yeah.
it. Here we
How do
go.
you
Upland
Exactly.
Cafe. Where oops, something went wrong. Let's try
Oh, is it?
again.
Oh shoot. Let's try to do it this way. Go down to the search bar.
Okay.
Go to the directory. Type in Upland go to cafes.
Got it.
And then go to that one. I think that one's active.
There
Now
we go.
double click the property. No, don't click the property card. Double click the property itself.
The actual big building here.
Yeah, no, the blue square. Double click on the blue square.
Double click on the blue square.
The blue square that's highlighted. Like you see how it's dark. It has a bold border
Yeah,
around it.
this right
Okay.
here.
Yeah. So just anywhere in the blue area. Just double click it. Anywhere in the blue. There you go.
That doesn't.
Now click
Well,
the cafe there.
Okay.
There you go. Now create 3. So you need a Ready Player Me avatar. So it's going to have you set up your avatar.
oh my gosh.
So you can pick a file. It can be a random file. It doesn't even have to be human.
This is
It
amazing.
just has to be like it has to be an image. It can be any JPEG, any PDF, or sorry, any JPEG, or yeah.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
I just took a picture of
Oh,
it.
something went
Something
wrong.
went-
We ran into an internet area. Oh,
Internet
Let's
there.
continue without a photo.
there
There
you
I
go.
am.
Just pick
There's
somebody.
me. That looks
Oh,
great.
look at you.
That looks just
Yeah.
like me, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks
Creator, sign up.
I'm happy you're doing this.
Have
See
you
how
created
easy
a Ready
this is,
Player Me
folks?
avatar before?
What's that?
Have you created a Ready Player Me avatar before?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you could, yeah, if
Yeah.
you have logged in with your
Oh, I need
Ready Player
to
Me
go
account.
for a run after this. Clearly.
Look at that. You got
Look, I got
45.
4,500. Look at me.
It always
All right,
starts you
so
with
here I am.
4,500 and a free property. So,
Okay, now what do I do?
okay, so now
Click
just push
X.
the X button, yeah, and now try
Now
to
go
click on
in.
the cafe and see if it lets
Boom,
you
we're
in.
in. I hope this was so worth it. And I know it won't be, but whatever.
Oh, maybe somebody else looking in there. I mean, the whole world, there's 60 million people in here right now.
No, not this
Yeah.
platform. That's Roblox.
All right. Well, let's say this one only has 10 million.
I'm getting a hot
Oh,
tip. Close other tabs. Oh my God. All right,
Oh,
we're getting there. We are
good.
getting there, ladies and
I feel
gentlemen.
like we're stealing files on Mission Impossible. You know how
Yeah,
they
like
always
we're
have
hacking
that-
the system.
Yeah, we're hacking
This is
into
This is
scintillating.
the problem with blockchain right now. It's so clunky, right? Like it takes a lot to,
Yeah.
at least Upland sets the wall up for you. There's a lot of metaverse platforms out there where you have to create the wallet separately outside the platform and then connect it.
Look at that. Are you in the cafe?
Oh, I can
You
hear.
hungry?
You guys are here with me because it's your voice. Oh, there's other people talking. Hi.
Look at all these other people here.
All right, I'm gonna move around.
What are they doing?
I'm getting all kinds
That
of.
guy loves you. That guy loves you. Look at you. You're walking.
There are other people here. I'm surprised. Usually there's not anyone here unless there's events going on.
Yeah,
I wonder what
and there's an
going
event
on here.
going on.
Hey, look at
Oh,
these
there might
guys.
be.
They're-
Nobody wants to hang out with me because I need to go for a run. Clearly, I've had like a 12 pack.
This is fun. This is like in 15 years, we're gonna look back and they're
This
gonna say,
person's
"Hey,
chilling
man,
in the fountain. Okay.
Yeah, so this cafe
People are
they
playing
streamed
music.
the stock car pro races here. Oh wait, there is an event going. Let's try to listen in. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, there's
We caught
music
an
playing
event.
as I walked in here. Can you guys hear the music?
Yeah, let's look at the screen there. That's where they displayed the stock car pro races. When they had them.
You guys can hear the music?
No.
I can't. No.
no," but I could
Let's
sing.
see if I can pipe it in.
What? All right. It's actually 101. I cannot believe how quickly an hour passes with this
I know.
scintillating
Got like a
conversation.
full-on
I know I had to
dinosaur
change
outfit.
rooms. I got kicked out where I was.
Oh, That's right. Your wife, yeah,
Yeah, it's
your wife
okay.
has
We
to
can keep
be-
going now. I'm here.
you
You can
have
see
a
the
hot
upland. Hold on. Oh, it's outside. Wait. It's mirrored, so I gotta figure it out. There we go. Now you can see it.
Yeah.
The upland banner in my bedroom.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, listen, for those, Chris Stone, you have outdone yourself today. Did I tell you?
did I?
Yeah. Did I tell you, Tim, about, by the way, you look like you're in the witness protection program because you have the light behind you and your face is, but the upland thing looks great. I told you this was going to be the classiest podcast you've ever been on.
Yeah, it's
You see?
been great.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well-
I had the music cranking from the Upland event in my left ear. So I'm like, whatever you guys said, I'm sure it was amazing.
You guys are awesome. And so if people want to get a hold of you, what they need to go to is your LinkedIn channel and then just schedule time to hang out with you for an hour and you can teach them how to do this whole thing, which is awesome. Chris Stone, you know who's better than you? No one,
Shreve?
literally no one. Taking
Oh.
things happen. And for all you watching, I wish nothing but good things to happen to you all for the rest of your lives. Eat well, live long, and prosper. Tim, hang on for a couple of seconds after this. You guys are the best. Go get them today.